My bad. What do I do? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm dropping things. All right, let's go. Day 3. Let's finish this painting. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone's evening was great yesterday. Good rest of the day. Reset out the palette. Why is it that every day when I go to take off the... This actually is not... Oh no, that's okay. It's like halfway chunky. Every day when I go to set out the palette, it's like I forget where the paint is supposed to go. Whoops. Once again, I have the cobalt blue for no reason at all. And then that's it. And then I need burnt umber and yellow ochre. Okay, this time we're gonna really get rid of some of this oil on the burnt umber because it is just getting out of control. I'm just tapping the oil out of the tube. Also cleaning it off a little bit because it is mighty dirty. And then I want to grab the corner and just suck up some of the oil that's sitting underneath. Because it has been so oily the past few days. No more though. No more. Okay. Also, my Blue Ridge yellow ochre has a hole in the tube. And it is very sad. I really hope it doesn't destroy the paint. Though it should be okay. It's in the back where there's no more paint. And oil paint oxidizes. It's very stable in a tube and it doesn't really dry out ever. Because it needs access to oxygen in order to dry out. So it's not the end of the world. Though it is kind of sad because now there's small bits of paint leaking out the back. Okay, there you go. Oh yeah, that's much better for the burnt umber. It is still really juicy, but I think it is better. We will be needing it today, so I need it to be good. And squishing the white. So today the only goal is to work on baby Jesus, which is like a half person part of the painting, not just the profile. So it'll be great. All right. Shall I restart the stream? Is that even gonna work? Okay. Oh, is it back? Is it back? Did it just pull itself together? It's still loading. Oh, no, it's back on YouTube. Yes. Okay, well, if you stayed, thank you. Internet just decided to crash. But I'm just setting up the palette, so it's not a big deal. Mixing the usual skin tones, so a peachy pink, a pink, and a yellow. I probably won't be using the pink at all, though. Grabbing a little yellow for the yellow white. And then what I want for sure... The song is so chill. Yellow ochre and red. For a medium value skin tone color. Take a little bit of that out, add some more yellow ochre. Good enough. Yellow ochre and green then. Or yellow ochre and black, I'm sorry, makes it green. Grab some more of it, make a lighter version. What else? Alizarin in black. Plus, let's grab some umber. And then I want... I'm thinking about the shadows. I'm going to start there. And I like that as maybe a burnt umber with the ochre. As sort of a launching off point for the light spots. Maybe it needs a little bit of cad red. Okay, well, these are adjustments I'm going to make with the brush. And then umber, burnt umber, or raw umber, I'm sorry. The raw umber. Whenever I say just umber, I mean raw umber. And then some, what did I grab? Cad red. All right, and we'll start with that. Woo! Good morning, Noah. I'm glad you're back. All right, I'm just thinking about where I want to start. Precisely in where. I think I want to do add in or drop in some of the darkest spots as waypoints. I think I need more coffee because I just legitimately almost painted the reference instead of the actual, you know, painting. Okay. We should be good today for no muffled background noises. But you might hear the rain. Which, if you're like me, is a very good thing. I love the rain. So this is the Alizarin black and umber mix. Alright, why am I painting so slowly? Okay. The brain cells have not woken up today. But we shall move on. Because if I can paint while I'm tired, nothing can stop me ever. I'm invincible. Okay, wow, I just actually didn't draw the top part of Jesus' arm. That's fine. Also, only took me 3 days to notice. Okay, so it goes in, and it's 3 little chubbies. And then a little bit here. This is... I feel like I'm not getting enough paint on the brush. Do, do, do. Do. So just defining the darkest parts of the shadows. Just kind of some outlining. And then I'll place in the next dark places. Also really paying attention to the edging of where it meets up to the other spots that I worked on yesterday. Almost gonna... This like part of the sleeve got a little lost. I feel like this black part goes out a little bit farther. And then goes darker in here. So the paint from yesterday is dry. And let's check this. Yeah, that's totally dry. So 2 days in, the whitest parts are completely dry. And then somehow I didn't get these dark enough. So I'll just drop a little bit in here. That jawline though, I'm gonna do with some of the umber and cad red mix. Which almost could just be the burnt umber mix as well. Dropping this in and then the jawline. So that's not gonna be fully black. Why am I holding this brush still? I'm not going to be using it. Back in the tube. I think I'm going to start with the body and then go to the head. We'll do the head last. I'm going to probably want to mix up some of the background blue to even out some of these edges a little bit, and maybe even play with the hair. I like the way the shape kind of ended up yesterday, as I threw it down really quickly, mostly to get the edge of Mary's face. But I'm thinking about it. Nah, I'm gonna work the face as well. Okay, where does the eye land? I think it's this line. Comes in, goes over. He's looking down this way. This is not a very good brush. This one in particular has like 2 strands sticking out. But at the right angle, it's pretty good still. There, a little bit in the nostril. And then just a little bit on the lips. Do that little V, and then out. Alright, I'm gonna grab a bigger brush, I think, and lay in... I don't know, there's a lot of small transitions, but I'm going to lay in some of the shadows. And we'll do that with the umber and this sort of all 3 of these together. So the yellow ochre with a little bit of red, a little bit of burnt umber. How does that feel? Yeah, that's a pretty good color for that. Pretty good base. It's much more red on this side as it reflects more of Mary's dress over versus back here, which is more in shadow, first off, and sort of in front of the veil rather than the red of the dress. Bringing it down. This whole underside is shadow. Coming right up to the edge of this. Oh, this brush is gonna be too big. There's a darker line, and then there's the bounce light. That is a technical term, and I can't remember it right now. This is the cast shadow edge, and then there's the... I don't know, there's a fancy term for it. If you do studies of spheres, for instance, you really see all of these in-between sort of shadows and shapes that come in the shadows, the highlights and the shadows and the highlights. And it can really help bringing that over to more complicated shapes. So sphere studies are very good. Okay, I need a small brush. Started as a good idea, ending not so much. gonna get some of a warmer mix. So mixing the umber cad red with the ochre burnt umber mix. One of them's lighter, one of them's darker. Alright, I want it here. Here. I'm not getting enough on the brush. I think I'm more or less going to work all of this at once. Just because all the shapes connect and the skin tones are rather similar. I need a lighter brush. Kind of just familiarizing myself with the painting. Seeing more of the color shifts and the gradations and all that. I'm gonna grab the ochre and red mix and not add anything quite yet, but I'm gonna use it here, here. There's a spot here in the roll that wants it. The cute baby chubby rolls on the knuckles. And then in this bounce shadow, or the bounce light in the shadow. Right on that edge. And then in the fingers down here. I'm gonna grab the dark and do the finger creases. Also, I don't know why they're so high up. Depositing a little bit of paint down here. And back to that umber, or the ochre red mix. I'm going to add a little bit of umber to it to neutralize it and make it a little bit darker. Use it a little bit here. This bounce light, it's not nearly as chromatic as the other one, but I'm going to add some more, maybe a bit more of the cad red version of it. It's a more cooler version of it. That'll work good there. Right in between those two shapes is going to be darker, so I'm going to leave it. Right there is a highlight, so I'm avoiding that. In here is sort of a mix, so I'll place that in right off the bat. Thinking about where the light is hitting each of these fingers as its own little bit of column, like a cylindrical shape. So there's the cast shadow on the one side and then the highlight on the other. Even as they're all in the shadows. As a whole, the shape is in the shadow. I'm gonna grab the dark brush and use a little bit of this one. So the reddish mix. No, I don't really want the reddish mix. I actually want to make it cooler. So I'll just add black. And then a little bit of the yellow ochre. And just fill in this area so it's not so... so it looks like just a little bit more complete in this in-between phase. I just painted over where there's a highlight. I'm gonna try to make that highlight color. So it's a whiter version. I'm gonna use the greens and a little bit of umber. And then for that other one, I want some of the yellow ochre red mixes. That one is warmer. I'm blending some of this, but it really doesn't need blending yet. I want to get all the other colors in first, so I'm gonna stop. Back to the shadow color. This neutral shadow color. Each of these, the knuckles are pointing towards the shadow the most. It even goes darker, so I'm going to grab the darker brush first. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that black right on the edge so I can blend into the shadow shape a bit easier. Belly button is right there. Medium dark color, which is the same color that's here. I'm just going to make it a little bit more opaque on this first pass. The thinness of it makes it look a lot lighter than it is. So. There, and then I want the yellowy ochre color. There's sort of the bounce highlights in here. So just gonna lay a little bit of that in here. The rest of that is highlights. And then this hand is mostly in shadow. Oh, it needs to go lighter than that though. So just grabbing more of the yellow ochre. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it though. Add this yellow white. Since it is in the it's the light side of the hand, that extra burst in opacity will help make it look more like it is in the foreground, rather than curving back in space. Working up into the face. Just checking down there and thinking if I want to add any more right now. I think I do. I'm going to add some of this really warm brown. And then yeah, it's a good color. Mary's hand, for whatever reason, is very tan. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if it was to put more emphasis on, like Jesus, that the hand that goes right, through his, across the plane of his body is lighter. Or if it's just because it is facing that perfect direction away from the light source, that it's mostly in shadow. So that is a little bit too dark. There's going to be some lighter notes right here. And then right on the sleeve is light. Right there, and then it has a bit of the cast shadow from the book right in here. Okay, now onto the face. So I'm going to start with that color that I used for the shadow. Grab a little bit more of it. This is a bit, no, it's too warm. It's too warm. Reel it in. Adding some of the yellow ochre to get rid of the warmth. That's very cool around the top of the head. I'm gonna, it's a bit light. I'm gonna grab the darker brush. Mix that warmer, really dark shadow of the hair and rework that in. And that should be good actually for the dome of the head. Got the really delicate wispy hairs. I'm thinking how many of the background colors I want to mix. If I want to go back in now or later. I'm thinking later. Just until I get more of it established. And then the light. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm dropping paintbrushes. I wanted a more variation, lighter variation in here. Just dabbing in some of the shadows here. So this is the darker version of the face. And then the bounce highlight, which currently is, well, actually that's probably pretty good for how dark I want to get the face. Grabbing the darker brush. Ooh, no, that's too dark. Adding just a little bit of that yellow ochre. I didn't really need it. Enough. Grab a little bit more. Maybe I'll add just a tad white. There we go. And then it goes also back here. And there's right underneath the lip, it casts the shadow on the chin. And then on the nose. Under eye cast shadow from the eyelids. Just gonna kind of blend all of these colors together to get the whole canvas covered over there. So it's not super important. I want to put highlights down here on the inside of the knuckles. Slowly stepping my way towards the highlight of the body. But without getting lost. The rest of the hand I think is just in light. I want to re-emphasize some of those shadows first. A little more of the warmer color right next to the nose. I want to merge it towards white. So I'm gonna grab the peachy pink. So I don't think it wants a yellow color. I do think it wants to stay more in that peach color. A little bit more peachy, and that works for the cheek. Okay, that was probably too big of a shape to do with just one color, but moving on. I'm gonna bring it a little bit lighter. I think I went a little bit too pink. I'm gonna use some of this yellow ochre red mix as the base a bit more. It's higher in chroma but lower in value. And it doesn't go quite so pink as Cad Red plus white. It should be good in between the highlights and the shadows without adding too much brown into the actual skin tone. And bridge the gap. Since there is yellow ochre in the shadows, putting yellow ochre in the skin will make it look really unified. Okay, the rest up there is very cold. There's a big highlight there. The rest of that is super cold. I'm gonna grab a new brush. No, I'm not. We're not gonna go into detail yet on places that I finished. I want to get all of the colors laid in first. That's a cooler shadow, and then this is a warmer shadow. I do need a new brush though. All my brushes have kind of gone away from where I want them to be. I'm gonna grab some of this, what is this, yellow ochre, Cad Red, burnt umber mix for like this crease and up here. Oops, I just went over where some of the light goes. That bounce light. That wants to be the cooler, so I'm gonna grab, I have a little bit of a cooler color mix. I don't remember, when did I mix that? Drop some of it in up here. As the Jesus' head reflects a little bit more of the sky color, and the top of the head. It's kind of a weird color because it's so close to the skull. The skin's really thin and doesn't have a lot of blood flow through it. So it is kind of that weird, I don't know, I call it like the sickly green. And I want to add just a little bit of that on the chin, since for the same reason there, the chin is close to the skull. Not as fleshy. Oh, that was a little bit too dark. A little bit of the yellow white. And then I need a light brush and work my way light to dark. So we have some of the yellow, white with the peachy pink color for the forehead. Is that gonna be too light? That might be too light. Okay, hold up. The lightest parts are these parts. And the forehead, but not that bright. So grabbing a bit more to the bit more of the peachy pink. And perhaps just a little bit of the yellow ochre red mix. Maybe just yellow ochre. Yeah, there we go. Piloting it in, covering that whole area. Merging just a little bit more to the lighter yellow. There and here, where it catches the light the most. And then shifting back just a little bit. Right at the bridge of the nose. Tilts in just for a hair. Getting the eyelid. The cheek. The eye. Where have I not gone yet? I haven't gotten the lips yet. Or the shoulder. That has more gray shadow. I'm going to go back to the brush I was just using before with the grays. And it has a hair on it. Go away, cat hair. That was not dark enough. Okay, sure. We'll just start it there. I'm not super happy with the color, but it's okay. This is kind of already blending, and I need to take a filbert and blend it for real. But now I'm gonna grab a different light brush for the shoulder color, which is so neutral that I'm gonna add black into it, and just do black and the cad yellow. What it does want is just a little bit of warmth, so I'm gonna grab the pink. Pulls it more to the purple, just a little bit. And I think it's a little bit too light. Oh, I didn't do the fingers down here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the yellow ochre red mix to tone it down. That is actually almost the exact same color as the background priming. And as it curves around as a cylinder, it wants to get a little bit darker there. In here. The highlight's going to be like right in the middle. And then the shoulder edge. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in the background again. That shape is also not even right. It does like a little lump. But that's like the sky cheating in. I'm gonna add a little bit more white to here. in the background. Banana. I'm gonna grab this in between skin tone and just, you can see her nails, which, it's fine. We need some white in there. Just a little bit. Fill it in pretty much. It is so far in the corner, I don't care as much about these fingers. But then I want to have a little bit of a light for the nail. Nails are fun to draw. I always get the proportions kind of messed up. So we're going to practice that for sure on this painting and try to figure out a bit more of the structure of that so that it looks better in the future. But not right now. Right now we're going to blend everything together. Clean brush. Tap away. Make sure everything is covered with a nice thin layer of paint. Fuzzing the edge. Oh, I didn't do the lips. Oh, I think I'm just going to render those right to completion, just in one pass. They're so small. That's pretty good. Down here needs a bit. Blend and soften, soften and blend. I'm going to wipe it off first, and then do the shadows as a separate step. Get rid of some of these really aggressive brush strokes. That's good enough. It's not that big of an area. Alright, starting from the eyes and working my way out. LOL, looks so funny right now. Starting with the eyes and working my way out. I'm gonna grab a white brush, or a light brush. The white of the eye is not going to be nearly close to white in this one, especially. It's a bit too much white on the brush. Wipe it off a bit. No, we'll just go back in with the dark brush. So I deposited a little bit too much of the white on the painting. Trying to fix it with the white was just going to make it expand even more. But cutting into it with the black evens it out. Ooh, that's probably a bit too low. I want the brush. That's the warm shadow. I gotta fix that light and figure out how to make it so that the palette doesn't get so much glare. I want a little bit of this color on the lower eyelid. going back to the light brush and grabbing just a little bit for the thickness of the lower eyelid, which catches the light. Oops, got a little bit on that pupil. Go back in with the dark. Back with the light. Redefine that shape just a tad. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to go a bit into the peachy pink color. Give it a little bit more chroma. And start defining the eyelid. It needs to go lighter. Got too much color on this brush. But right here where the eye creases in is always really light because it catches the light a lot. And it's often the overall highlight of the face. I need a bit of a more yellow ochre color in there. I'm just gonna grab a new brush. Yellow ochre red mixed with the peachy pink white. This will be pretty light, but where the eyebrow ridge turns, it gets a tiny shadow. More of the red side of the red ochre mix. I don't know if I want it there, but I do want it here. Ah, why did I go with all the way to the dark color? I want something that is high in chroma and lighter, like the red ochre mix. Pretty much by itself, I want to say. Maybe not. No, that's going to be way too chromatic. We'll add a little bit of white. I've completely lost the eyebrow. I want to go a little bit cooler, so I'm going to add the yellow ochre black mix. That was way too harsh of a transition. But I'm gonna let it go for a little bit. And use this color to blend out some of this area. Can I scoot in anymore? Wheelie chair on carpet, not easy. That's a bit better. I'm just gonna keep blending this until it looks right. I feel like it's going really wrong. So I'm gonna let my brain buffer while it thinks about what it can fix. Also I need to put the hair in. I think that will help too. Oh, I wanted to make this a little bit lighter. Didn't really paint the Cupid's bow in. It has this up and down little part. It's really important to define all of the different parts. Ooh, and not to over define them or they look really silly. And also the nose comes down just a little bit farther. Let's work the shadow for a little bit. That has a bounce light. That does not transition like that. That was just like really off. It also looks like the colors are off. Okay, I'm gonna try to add a little bit of the hair, I think. Just making just like a darker, less chromatic version. Dull. So I'll add a little bit of black to the browns. It's probably gonna be way too dark. I can feel it already. Completely way too dark. Adding a little bit of white. Really whatever that white was that was right there on the palette. Gently define that. And that. And then the hair. This. Ooh. We'll make it work. This is such a victory song. Makes me feel like I can do anything. Alright. It went too dark. Way too dark. Adding some light, but mostly just blending that edge together. Breaking up some of the brushstrokes up here with the white. And then this down here needs a bit more white. Or light, not really white. I'm going to make this a little bit darker. To make the curve of the head look a little bit more there. You kind of blend in all of the darker area. Eyebrows too defined, maybe? We want wispy baby hair, not adult, mature eyebrows. I'm gonna grab a new brush, mix a little bit of this cobalt that I have with some white, with the yellow white, sure. Ooh, maybe not, that is very green. Worked better with the ultramarine, which was less green. But a little bit of the, yep, is that gonna be good enough? Hey, it's pretty good. I'm just gonna fuzz the edge. Alright, so this comes in. And again there. Need a new brush if I'm going to do that lower area. Do I even remember what I mixed there? Let's do black, white, yellow, blue. Oh, maybe yellow ochre I think was in it. Yeah. Really, I think I need to bust out some ultramarine, but there's no point in wasting it. Oh. Because it's just going to sit on the palette. I know I'm not going to use it today in the actual painting besides this one little area. Let's just... Ah! This is too dark. Okay, the cheek is distracting me too much. I need to go back to it. This area. Why was that such an aggressive transition? I'm gonna get into a little bit of the more chromatic light colors. Add in a little bit more of the yellow ochre and cad red. It's not really gonna change it that much. Definitely need it up here in the cheek though. I just decided to mix that color. I don't really know why. Narration today is low. Feels like a Friday. Got that rainy day, want to stay indoors all day kind of feel. Oh, that's why I was trying to mix the cheek color. Wow, it took so long to mix that I absolutely forgot what I was using it for. It's like a yellow ochre red with a little bit of dark. and then some white for opacity. Okay, I gotta define the lip color because it is throwing me off. That little bit of whatever, the dark. The nose makes that shape, but it's way too emphasized. Alright, lip color. A little bit of burnt umber, cad red with the dark. A little bit of raw umber, I think, as well. Sort of neutralize the intense warmth of the burnt umber and the cad red. And let's see how this feels. Okay. Ooh, getting a little bit everywhere. And then I want more cad red and a little bit of white. That is a very... What is the word? Purpley mix. I do not like. I'm going to add a little bit of cad yellow to bring it closer to orange. The entire upper lip in this painting is in shadow. All of the lower lip is in light. I'm gonna swap to a new brush. Ooh, if I have a new brush. There we go, that's small enough. We're gonna add a little bit more cad yellow to that and a little bit of the white. And a little bit of this mix, why not? This is the highlight color, isn't it? Yeah, that's closer to the highlight color. So it needs a bit more cad red. Maybe just a bit more burnt umber to darken it back down just a bit. Okay, and then that all wants to blend into the skin tone at large. Seeing some changes out elsewhere that I need to make as well. But before we do that, this is not really the color I want, but it's good for some spots. No. Oh, it looks like he's been punched in the eye. Alright, bringing that back out. Going light again. Blending this out. Wants to be that more orangey color, but that's way too aggressive of a transition. delicately touching the edges so that it blends with the rest of the brush strokes. Alright, making that a bit darker, and then I'm gonna go lighter. I just realized this is my light brush. Oops. Been using it as a medium. I lost the entirety of that lower eyelid. When did that happen? Okay, I don't really have the chubbiness of the cheeks in. They need to be more, I was gonna say voluminous. Not really the right word, but have more volume. And that is accomplished through the squishiness of a squashed sphere. So there's going to be more highlight than shadow. Rather than like a round ball, it's squished. Also means I need a shadow underneath here. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the lip color. Think about life for a second. It needs to be a more chromatic, medium dark color. I'm gonna add some of the ochre cad red because I want it to be vibrant, but also dark. And I'm gonna put it right on the crevice of the lower lip. and evidently on the nose. Okay. I do need a bit of the dark lip to re-emphasize the actual crease where they come together. And then the shadow on the upper lip. All right. Leaning back. I almost want to say that my Jesus side looks more like so there's I mentioned this on the first day, that there's like two versions of this painting out there. Both say William Dyce as the painter. I think one was the practice and one was the final. Or they were both finals until he was like, I want to make it again. But Jesus looked like, I don't know, a little more sketch. It's really cool. You can look it up on Google. But I do distinctly remember in the second painting, so like this one that I'm painting off of, he looked much more like an actual baby. The first one he looked a little scary. Mine looks a little scary. That ear is just, I'm just keep putting paint down and not really doing anything to it. Emphasize the chub. I'm gonna move on though to the lower portions. Even those out and then come back around to the face. Until of course I get distracted by something and then go back to the face right away. As I am wont to do. It's a very warm shadow. So it's gonna have more of the cad red and burnt umber in it. Oh, yo, I just saw that there's 2 likes now. Thanks, guys. If you haven't liked the stream, especially if you're watching the VOD after, throw a like down there. And check if you're subscribed, since you've already scrolled down to check if you liked it or not. But thank you, guys. That really means a lot. It really helps. Kind of grow and spread. Lots of little transitions in the fingers so that I don't want to overemphasize too fast and get it all muddled. So I'm just going to leave it at that. This part though, I think I want it just to be umber with whatever was down here. So it's a bit on the cool side without being the coolness of black. This highlight is a lot darker. And then there's just this delicate transition here. And then not quite so, you know, weightlifter bicep-y. Kind of unemphasize that. Ah, okay, I'm getting too much paint down. Alright. I don't know if that's too dark or not. I'm going to be evening it out a little bit. Let's just do this part. This part is quite dark down here. Maybe add just a little bit of straight black to that umber mix. A little bit of black, because I'm losing this line. And the arm is casting the shadow on the stomach. Okay, I'm just moving that paint around. It needs more paint. It's super thin. And then whatever's going on down here is not right. I'm just gonna add a little bit more black. This does not curve as much. It kind of angles down and over. Alright, I'm going to grab a medium brush and grab some of the yellow ochre colors that I've got going on my palette. A little bit of the ochre red to warm it up. Maybe just a little bit of cad red. Placing a little bit of that in here. Boost the chroma, boost the opacity, because yellow ochre is very opaque. Already boosting the opacity is making this look a lot lighter. So it's not so much a dark brush stroke with light peeking through it anymore. It's just that one color. Adding a little bit of bounce light here. Ooh, maybe a bit too much. Ooh, okay, wait. Get rid of the black that I've been picking up. If I lay that in delicately, that's kind of the right color. Needs like a warm orange on the cheek. 2 seconds when I step back, I'm gonna hate this. But I think it's the right direction. Especially if I can get all of it to blend smoothly. That'll help a ton to make it look more natural. That's actually a really good point. Looking at some of the older works, like especially Bellini, who's in the, oh gosh, the 1200s, 1300s? Back before anatomy was really as big. The confidence with which painters painted semi-accurate faces was really held together by the fact that they did the blending full on and didn't leave it very sketchy or anything. They committed completely to the style, which is really cool. Because then you, like, when you think about animation styles and stuff like that, how sometimes they're just so, like, anatomically incorrect, right? You go Inside Out or whatever, or I can even any like Disney movie, anything animated. It's not like anatomically correct, and yet we still perceive it as being human features, facial features. And a lot of that's just because they went with it and they understood the anatomy enough. And pulled it together. It's kind of cool. You know, this kind of comes down and does not have that gradient transition. It has almost no transition. The head's not red enough. Ooh, but what color do I want to use? I'll use this brush, which has, sure, that color on it. Needs more transitionary colors going towards the back. Oops. Whoa. That was a lot darker than I expected. No problem, no problem. Blend it together. Really doesn't want to be that warm though. If you're adding more oil paint on top of oil paint, it really helps to cross hatch it in. So go one direction, then go in the other. It's a really easy way to blend it. Especially for like a large area like that I just did. Shinier on the forehead. Oh boy, okay. Okay, that wasn't as much of a large shift as I was imagining. We'll go at it slowly. This isn't pure white by any means. I mixed it with a little bit of everything that was skin tone colored. Not even depositing color up there. But just enough to make it shift ever so slightly. Every time I look back, I see like 18 more colors that he put in the forehead. It's quite impressive. This is not as bold, and then it continues under. The eyebrow is on the ridge bone of the skull, and it cuts through that ridge bone. So when you're painting, you want to make sure you continue that shape down the face and underneath the eye. Alright, coming from right out of the nostril there, and then right there. Ooh, that's bold. Okay, then it also follows the lip. I was just thinking about Mary's lips, and I don't like how they ended up, but I'm not fixing that until the very end if I still have time. And here, those little edges right where the lower lip meets has a really bright highlight almost all of the time. I also just shifted the shape of that and it looks silly now. Where did my lip brushes go? I guess it's this one. Ooh, that's dark. That is very dark. Too dark. Backlight. And then back very light. Use this one. Okay, that didn't... I was supposed to mix that before I put it up there. And then I need the dark. Okay, the entire upper lip needs reworking. Oh boy. Okay, we're stopping there for a second. And we're going to continue down on the body. Okay, more opacity. Let's go. Grabbing the, oh, actually that was the sky color. It'll work. No, it won't. I don't want blue in the skin. I just want gray. Okay, now I need to make that color again. Adding black and white with some of the yellow and the peach pink, and which is really just yellow and cad red, and I could have just used the peach pink to begin with. Okay, that is the very light emphasis right here. And then it needs to go darker for everywhere else. Grab a little bit more black, a bit of umber, a bit of burnt umber. It's probably too light, actually. Okay, and then ever so subtly blend some of that white in. Here and here, and what am I doing? There's also a lot of colors down here. Okay, this is too dark. Blend it over with some of the lighter. Whoa! Okay, I just want the warm umber and ochre mix. Okay, this highlight is like that, and then comes down and is right here as well. Alright, I'm gonna just try to blend all of these individual brush strokes together with something a little bit more coherent, and then I'll reassess. Coffee break. Not chubby enough. Okay, wait. Focusing on the body. This comes out a little bit farther. Oh, I kind of lost that part of the finger. Here. Ooh, the bottom fingers. Just kind of very sketchy right now. Just gonna re-emphasize some lines. And then I'm gonna go and try to find that skin tone for that really cool, really light skin tone. Which, didn't I have it mixed at one point? I really need to, these are very dry pools. I need to make a nice pool of this paint. So I have a lot of paint on the brush. Okay, is this too light? Almost. I think I want it to be a little bit darker, a little bit more pink. That was nearly the same color again, but that's okay. I do kind of like it. Adding a little bit of yellow ochre. Try to get some of that paint out of the brush so that as I mix, it's actually changing the color. and not just changing the outside of the color of the brush. Ooh. All right, what am I doing here? We're just gonna blend this back together. Oops. I'm gonna grab a bit of the more of the peachy pink color. Maybe a little bit of yellow. I want it to go a little cooler for right under the book. Gotta be careful not to get paint on the book. Already did. But no more. You get a nice thick layer here. Ooh. Okay, that has a lot more subtle transitions. Notice I really like painting with almost no paint on the brush. I have to stop doing that. It's bad for progress. All right, what am I thinking? That's getting a little too far away from the skin color of the face. Which is not the worst, because it is different. But I want to bring it back. So I'm going to go back to the skin color brush. Which could be this one, sure. Wow, brush management today. It's always a bad painting though when brush management is bad. So I'm gonna bring it back together. Reel it in. Okay, that was a lot more white than red. Kinda wanna make one of these piles a lot more pink. They're very pale today. But this is a sort of a warm skin color. A little bit on the darker. Not really. It could go a lot darker. I'm just going to add it in some little areas. I'm mimicking how the light catches differently at different angles. A cool light will give warm shadows, and a warm light will give cool shadows. Which is a concept that if you've never seen it in action is actually crazy. But shadows are the complementary color of the light source. Which you want to use in painting. So if it's an outdoor sunny day, the sun is cooler, usually. Unless it's like a evening sunset kind of feel. Which means if it's cool, your shadows are going to be warm. Which is why I talk about using like alizarin in the shadows, because it's a very warm color. And usually these things are done in natural lighting. But if it's indoor and really warm lighting, the shadows are going to go a little bit cooler. or if you have a combination of light sources and things like that. If you have a green light, the shadows are going to be red. If you have a purple light, the shadows are going to be yellow. That is really cool. But then it's not just the shadow color that you have to worry about within the shadows. It's the bounce light as well. As the light bounces off a bright color, it's going to change the shadow color as well. But it's little things like that that can make the painting pop a bit more. It does seem like William used the more natural lighting look, because all these shadows are rather warm, and it's kind of traditional. Because you're going to be using your umbers in the shadows more, and those are warm. Umbers are used in underpaintings a lot. I'm trying to make the chub of the cheek much more chubby. I made the face start to look a little too long, and now I need to bring it back. Okay, I keep going back to that ear, but I just need to actually think about the colors and then put it down, not just put brush strokes like I've been doing. That needs to be more shadow. And then the edge of the finger I've totally lost, so we're just going to place that in. The edge of the hand really blends right into the shadows. I'm going to go with this other brush that is definitely has some white and other colors mixed into it in the dark. I'm going to use that as the adjustment for these cast shadows, so it's not as dark as the in-between parts. Should go back up here. No, not yet. Well, you know what I'm totally missing there, though, is that divot here. And there's also an extra roll right on the hand. That currently is not there at all. I'm gonna go with the gray. Where'd the gray go? Where did the gray go? I need a new brush. Add a little line that'll blend in. And then I also want some of the yellow ochre. To add a bit more chroma to this area. Adding a bit more black to my cool color. It's too dark or too gray. right on this edge, though, is kind of gray. Wait, oh, that's way too low. What am I doing? No, it's not. What is this? Why is that line so dark? What was I doing? I suppose is the better question to ask. Getting the warmer color, that yellow ochre color again, yellow ochre red. I don't like what's going over there, going on over there. I need the darker color to kind of clean up these edges. Soften all those brush strokes. Make it so it's not so scraggly right on the edge. What is going on with these fingers? I always kind of Monet fingers and just kind of give it the impression of it, but I'm gonna try to really do that right today. I'm starting to blend just all of these colors together. No. The arm skin tone color is not tan enough. It only gets really white right like there. And then this is not even enough. I'm just gonna grab some of anything that's there. Right? New brush. I just got rid of my yellow ochre red brush and made it really white. I'm out of small brushes though. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. Just go bigger. It's fine. Why is that like that? Alright, hype song, let's go. Alright, right on the edge of all these shadows, it wants to have a little bit of chroma. transition is way too abrupt. Brushing that edge to make it look less abrupt. More like the shape turns around the edge. All right, onto this hand. Let's try doing a little bit here. Just want to make them overall a bit darker first off. And then, no, continuing on. The outlining parts they're too thick. I'm just gonna push them away a little bit. And then it needs more colors in there. 2 colors is not enough. Ochre red. With a little bit of white. Oh, he was really good at getting tiny little fingernails. Okay, this finger has almost no edging. The other ones do though. Okay, mine are like curled up too far. Let's fix that. Shadow color, which is probably unnecessary because it's got a little bit too much dark already. We're gonna embrace it. Try to even out some of these shapes. Define the shadow, the shapes of the negative space, which is really important to making your positive space look really good. Unsurprisingly, I guess. But the more practice you get in looking at the negative space instead of just the positive space, the little bit easier it is to place shapes correctly. Then again, I'm kind of just outlining. All right, this color is not dark enough on the veil. I'm gonna see if I can find that color really quick. Yeah, that's better. And then it wants to go a little bit more black and have a bit of a shadow right here. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. A little bit like that, and then I need, that's the same brush that I was using on the background. I'm gonna get a little black background color in here. It's too dark. Go lighter. And get rid of the flyaways. Bring that background right to the edge. Which I think it actually wants to go quite a bit later. Hand looks really big. Okay, I'm missing some crevices on that finger. Looks like a noodle. Let's unnoodle the hand. This edge goes all the way over. And then there's a fingernail there. And then there's the knuckle there. And the fingernail. And then the fingernail hiding. And a knuckle again. And then the last one's just kind of there. Ooh. Ooh, I do not like how it's attaching to the background. Ooh. Wow, this cobalt is very juicy still. Cobalt lasts so long. Shifting the finger down a little bit because this interior space looks a little large. Okay, but then I want to go move over here. Soften this edge up all the way. And then that needs a little bit of dark. I lost the edge of the arm. The palette is all over the place today. For the chubbiness, is this dark? That's light. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? I think it wants to go a bit more chromatic on the cheek. And then slightly darker here. Is that gonna make it look weird though? Okay, I'm gonna wipe off some of that and then blend. Okay, well, I'll just hit something in there. I'm gonna need a lighter brush. How in the world is it already 11:30? That went by so fast. Okay, well, let's charge forward. Okay, well, what am I doing? Okay. I'm going to do the rest of the detailing on that finger, or the 3 fingers, with some really chromatic, warm colors. Okay, in terms of the arm, it's not looking as weird. But then again, arms are a little bit easier than faces. Less complicated shapes. Ooh. I'm not getting enough color in there. I'm just evening out this skin tone color. Oh, that was light and I knew it, and I still put the brush there. Go back. Oops. That, okay. Okay, I need to really re-emphasize that. It's looking way too smooth and blocky. It needs to look more transition-y. Okay. Final looks. Well, actually, no, I still have half an hour. All right, not final looks. The head. The head doesn't appear to out enough. And I know that made perfect sense. little bit more bulbous. And then I want to add a little bit more highlight. I'm going to give it a little bit of the yellow white, but mostly just white. I just want it to be really light. But the forehead is a little bit more yellow always, so adding a little bit of yellow won't hurt. That is light. That might be way too light. A little bit. Wipe it off, mix it with some of the other skin tone-y colors. And then ease the way back in. Okay. Wait. Looking. It's more like that. Yeah. Kind of lost all of the hair again. Ooh, that was very white. Ooh. It's like we're doing makeup right now. Get rid of that. Blend that in. Oh, that's not going to blend in. But while we're adding lightness, the eye right there could use a little bit more light. And perhaps right on the part where the eyeball sticks out the most. And blending that out just a little bit. More chub. That was not supposed to be black. Okay, well. Pick that up, deposit it more of the brown. A little bit on the edges to show that it's turning around the face. Kind of losing some of that shadow. Come back. Arm shadow needs to come out, or the arm highlight needs to come out a little bit farther. Ooh, that was a little off. Okay, those are technically right, but now I need to just blend. Ah! Not the right color. This highlight is very oddly shaped right now. And I'm not helping it at all with that. I want to go lighter. And make it less look like a separate shape and more like it just connects, you know? Same here. Some of these shapes are a little too, the brush strokes are too defined, making it look kind of weird. We're just gonna leave those fingers. I think I don't really know what I want to do with them. I did say I was gonna look at these fingernails. No, I don't know how much I care about it though. Oh, I could care. I really could, because they look kind of silly right now. I think just a little bit of highlights into here. Okay. The chub is finally like more there. But do I agree with what the camera is picking up? This shadow. Oh, no, not that color. Ah. Okay. You know, the eyebrow direction on this side is kind of off. Bringing out some of the highlights a little bit farther over. Ooh, not that much paint though. A little bit less paint. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of the more gray brushes. I'm gonna try to do the hair one last time. Ooh, it's fine. Thin brush strokes, disappearing into the hair, or into the skin. Oh my. Alright, what do I feel like? overall, not bad. Okay. I think that's where I want to call it. Maybe I want to do just a little bit more. I really never got this chroma up on the cheek. I kept getting it and then lightening up the area and then putting it back and lightening up the area or darkening it up. But it is quite warm here. I might have just messed that up. Did I? A little bit. A little bit. Okay, come on. Now's the chance to shine. Let's get some chroma in there. I'm just gonna... I should just use a different brush. No. Add some burnt umber to whatever this cad red ochre mix. And then I'm gonna find that shadow color. And now I need the light skin tone. Ooh. Alright. Before I mess anything else up, I'm gonna end it there. No, but it doesn't feel as finished. What is missing? Some like errant brush strokes here. Nope. Pulling up a little bit of the paint and I'm trying to smooth it out. Going in with the color that's approximately this shadow color and using it to bridge the gap between any obvious brush strokes that are throwing off the look. And trying not to change any shapes too much, just trying to fill in what's there. But I've already maybe I've gone too far. Oh no. Wait, what is going on down here? Woo! Almost dropped the brush. Where does his arm go down so far? All right, I think I'm calling it. Ooh, done. And that's another one for the books. All right, so tomorrow, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna stare at, okay. You know, I could sit here and just work on this for another like 5 hours, but the point is for, what is the word? Being definitive? That's not the word I wanted. Anyway, this one's done. I was looking at this though the other day, or this morning, and it's like, that's not the same shape. But I'm not changing it. Anyway, the point is that this is finally over. 3 days. And tomorrow I have just one more day, and I want to start a new one. I might do a saint, reworking one of my saints, or I won't stream. Haven't decided yet. So, check back on the Instagram to know if I'm live tomorrow, or come back here around 9 in the morning. But otherwise, I will see you on Monday for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Go make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you haven't hit it yet. And have a fantastic day. Hope you have a really good day. Anyway, thank you. Bye. Bye.